Hi guys, welcome to the Savvy Money Show with me, your host Sean. Today we're discussing AstraZeneca's study and what it means, whether we own AstraZeneca or not. I myself do not, but how it affects the rest of our healthcare stocks. We'll be discussing high dividend ETFs and are they worth it, and we will be discussing a few other companies in the mix. This is going to be a short video hopefully, but anyway, before we get into it, I know I promised you some spreadsheets. They are coming. I had some issues with the pull through, but they will be coming any day now. So please be patient and please keep watching. I will be putting them up in one video and one video only. For those of you guys into Spaqs, you might want to check out JD Investing. He does a lot of work on there. Anyway, on with the show. You may have heard Oxford and AstraZeneca's COVID vaccine trial has ended. Well, not ended, they've suspended it for the moment. Now, we have to think, what could that mean? Well, it means anyone who is doing a COVID spike trial may also be looking at whether or not they have to suspend it until a review is done. Now, just in case they come up with the same issues. I'm sorry about the background noise, we are outside. I'm afraid that is a pitfall, but I did want to get this out to you as soon as possible. Now, the obvious candidates are going to be BioNano and Pfizer. Pfizer was one of the front runners, and considering that Pfizer was just kicked out of the S&P, it's kind of more pain, but it could also be an opportunity. As I said, this is why we go into companies that even without the vaccine, they're still undervalued. Now, when Pfizer ran up, I sold my stake in Pfizer. I don't have any AstraZeneca, as I said, because it was well overvalued. A setback like this means AstraZeneca will come tumbling down, in my opinion anyway, depending on how long the suspension is for. And companies like GSK, Merck and the others working on a vaccine, different type of vaccine, will rise. GSK has risen on their advertising campaign slightly after having a slight drop. So, and in my opinion, it's undervalued anyway. So it might be worth picking up a couple of them. Now, this goes to show what difference where you get your news from makes. The Daily Mail, or as I call it, Daily Fowl, has put in vaccine trial could restart within days. Now, I'm not saying it isn't, but and if it does, then AstraZeneca could get a shot in the arm. And don't forget to hit that lovely like button, almost as lovely as me. Helps with the YouTube algorithm and getting the video out to more people. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Become part of the Saving Money Show family. We give each other hints and tips and updates about stocks and shares we talk about on the show. As well as that, you can ask me to look into any share you want, and I don't charge a Discord fee or ask for a Patreon. All I do ask is for you to comment in the box below and hit the like button. Even if you disagree with me, especially if you disagree with me, I like a debate. And if I do something wrong, I want you to call me on it so I can improve the channel. And why not check out the links in the description below? There's lots of others. I've used each one of them myself. I wouldn't give you links if I haven't checked them out myself. If you're looking for a free trading platform which should trade your stocks and shares, you can get a free share worth up to £200 for signing up and depositing a small amount. A free trade only requires a £1 deposit. The others require £100 or dollars, depending on which one you go for. Stake has over 3,500 US stocks on their books, which is the biggest one outside of the US. Whereas Trading 212 is one of the best and easiest platforms to use. But as I said, I use all three. Anyway, on with the show. But before you start saying that, oh well, it's just a trial, the guy might have been sick anyway. Apparently the guy was a perfectly healthy person. He had no underlying health conditions, and as far as we know, the vaccine has caused him to contract a rare disease. It's an inflammation of the spinal cord, of which only a third of people fully recover, a third of people partially recover, which ends up with like a limp behind the back, and a third of people never recover. Let's hope he has a speedy recovery and he's in the third that do recover. You could make an argument that a percentage of people contract this disease each year anyway, but it seems coincidental that he was healthy until he went on this trial. You have the people who are saying how 15,000 people, 1 in 15,000 is less than the amount of people who contract it without it, but when you consider that 33% of US population or the UK population will not take the vaccine, well, that was before this came out. You have to wonder what it will be once this comes out. Now, I said how AstraZeneca saying they would have it out by November was reaching for the stars, and I'm wondering if them fast tracking it, they haven't gone through the same kind of procedures they usually do. There are people who are arguing that this coming out here has proven that they have gone through the procedures, but I argue that this would usually come out before a phase 3 trial. Phase 3 usually means it's done and dusted. It's just to dot the I's with most phase 3s. Now, we have a look at Yahoo Finance. It has nothing about starting anytime soon. Of course, You can see there AstraZeneca saying illnesses happen by chance, but this isn't just a standard illness like a cold or flu or pneumonia. This is a main one that they will have to put as a side effect. I mean, transverse myelitis is not a it's not a minor thing. Having something that can cripple someone as a side effect of a vaccine is not it would not go on a minor side effects list. It would go on major side effects, even if it's 1 in 15,000 or even if it's 1 in 50,000. But still, there are people who would be thinking, I'm at the high risk level and I would rather have the risk of that than the risk of death. If you go to AstraZeneca's clinical trials page, you will not find anything under COVID. You have to put in the exact number for the vaccine, and you have to know the exact number. But even then, it says not yet recruiting, and it says that they do not expect to complete until next March. Thank you. Alright, now on to the next part. Vanguard FTSE All World High Dividend Yield. Is it worth it? Now, I was looking into this because it's had a drop, a huge drop. Had a spike up. I sold some of my shares because I wanted the money for something else. I was piling into something else which has made me a lot of money. I did a video on it earlier in the week. If you call that, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. And now it dipped back down to what I bought it at. So I was looking into whether it's worth going back into or whether I should put the money elsewhere. So we'll have a look together, shall we? As I said, it's near the lows, almost 50% off, so that's good. High dividend stock, having 0.29% management fee is not bad. I always like them to be under 1, but preferably under 0.5%. Now, year-to-date total return, you understand it's going to be negative because of the RONI, but you look at the yield, 3.31%. It's not a good yield for a high dividend. You've got to not get pulled in by this high dividend. It means the stock's a high dividend. Usually high dividend stocks mean people want to buy them up because they are high dividend, but not always. Look at the way AT&T's been. Look at the way some of them, like Altria, has been. People are becoming a bit more canny about their stocks. They've been piling into growth rather than dividends. So be a bit more careful. Now, if you still want a dividend stock, but you want the security as well, it's a bit more expensive management fee, but it's still under my 0.5. Dividend Aristocrats ETF. It's a BlackRock one. It's SPDR. Now, these are UK ones, obviously. I've been criticised for not doing enough UK, considering I'm from UK and concentrating on the US. I do throw a few in each video, Now this is 0.3% expense ratio, but look at the yield. For an extra couple micro percentage points, you're getting bigger yield, 4.89%. And they're dividend aristocrats, so they're not going to start cutting the dividend anytime soon. The problem with high yield dividend stocks, they can cut it at any time.
Yeah.
And with now you might want to check that one out if you. Now, I have looked into other stocks. I've looked into. I've been looking into other ETFs such as robot automation, the iShares robot automation, robotics, and you know. But I'm still trying to find out the exact yield. They have some good companies in there, but getting the correct information about the yield, there's so much conflicting information. Even the electric cars. If you remember, I said when you had the Tesla run up, I said you might want to check out the Wkhs and the iShares electric cars and the iShares car e-car ETF. Well, it's doubled in price since then, but finding out about the yields again is starting to become conflicting. So need to do more work on that before I do an actual review on that, a second review. A couple of companies I've been looking at, but again needs further review. Celsius Holdings. Let's just say I think they have potential for growth. Albertsons companies. Now, these are ones been knocked down a bit, but these two I'm looking into. As I said in yesterday's ones, I've got a stake in National Express, and I'm increasing that, as I think that would have no problem forexing, but that is more spec stock. And Walgreens, I'm sorry to keep banging the same drum on this, but Walgreens Boots Alliance, I sold out of it when it was 40. I broke even on it. You know, I consider it break even because made $1 or $2, you know, nothing major, and qualified for the dividend. You know, the dividend was just to pay for the amount of time I had kept it in there. Dividend is a 5%, right? You have a 5% dividend, which is a good dividend. Of course, you're not going to get it till next year. People are down on this because they think pharmacies are over, it's not good, but you can't Amazon this stuff. And I did a video on Amazon, Amazon's Whole Foods is actually Morrison's in the UK. Actually put the order through to Morrison's, and Morrison's Amazon Prime it. You know, it's so if you're in the UK and you're paying for Prime just for the Whole Foods, you may as well order from Morrison's. But if you are a Prime member and you're paying for Morrison's, then it kind of swings and roundabouts what you're using it for. The thing is, people go to the pharmacies if their kid needs something on the hop. They go to the pharmacies. Do they overcharge? Definitely. I can always get things cheaper elsewhere than Boots. Hey, the NHS came. There was a big thing where the NHS was being charged 30 quid for a mouthwash that is only £1.50 in their store. Now, you need to look at what their real value is. Is the real value in all their stores, the amount of stores they have up and down? Possibly, but I don't think that's the value. Is it the fact that they're integrating the WebMD in the stores, so they will have doctors? You will be able to see doctors in the stores. That is innovative, and that will be a huge growth potential. But no.
You've got a lot of hot tub in his garden.
It's the change in the Boots Advantage card. Now, they have revamped it. They have changed it round. They are collecting all the data, and remember, data is the new gold, and they will have all this shopping data on you and be able to target ads to you. And you watch, you'll start having in the next update, and I read all my updates quickly through the terms and conditions. That is how I found out about the Apple and Android track and trace within the updates. But they will ask about whether or not we can share their data or sell their data to another provider. And if they ever get into trouble, they will have all this data on you that they will sell to another provider rather than sell their stores first. But at the moment, they're using it to target you with ads. Their dividend, people are worried about the dividend being cut, but they've only just increased it, and it's covered. It's got a great dividend payout ratio, 40% I think it was the last time. Now, you have it such a discount. Look at that, it's practically half what it was pre-COVID. Now, to have a company like this, it's the UK's biggest pharmacy provider, and one of the US's biggest. I think it's gearing up for a big expansion program. I don't think it's in trouble at all. People are down on it for some reason, and if you look at it, you will see it's $12 above its book value. Now, for a company of this size, that's not unusual. But its balance sheet, you will see 65 billion in liabilities, 86 billion in assets, 34.5 billion in current assets, 26.5 billion in current liabilities. That's not a bad balance sheet for a company this size. 943 million cash end of period, and income. I mean, you can see they've been doing. Of course, with the Rona, they haven't been doing. They've been increasing their income, and then because of the Rona, they have dropped. But and people are using the excuse, how can you pharmacy drop during a pandemic? But you've got to realise with the lockdown, until they worked out what was happening, these guys had to pay people when they weren't working. These guys had to keep stores open while paying people who were at risk to stay at home. So they had to work out how to operate stores with reduced staff. Now, and make it economically viable. I think if it drops to 30, I will pick some up, and then it will be at more than a 50% discount. Don't forget, in the UK, as a person with morality in the UK, I'm not a fan of them, because they do not pay their taxes. They avoid their taxes, like Vodafone, but that's another way they save money. They probably do it in the US as well. But you have to decide for yourself whether or not you can overlook that, and whether you're willing to put the money in your pocket. I think people are now looking into these things in these companies, and this is why it's at a low. Anyway, that's enough blabbering on from me. I said I was going to keep it short, and I'm making it long. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye for now. Sorry it was so loud.